An overhead look at downtown Philadelphia. That's the site of our broadcast tonight. Coming to you live on this Tuesday night, it's the NBA on 2K Sports. Moments away, it'll be the Phoenix Suns going up against the Philadelphia 76ers here in Wells Fargo Center. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Brent Barry and Greg Anthony. We've got David Aldridge reporting from the sideline. Now we have a moment to look at how the blocks have been stacking up over the past several months for DeAndre Ayton.
We're just not seeing that same fierceness out of him defensively these last few months. He's lost a little bit of that intimidation factor. He's not blocking as many shots, and he's not making the same impact on that end of the floor.
And nothing tips off a broadcast like getting the lowdown from the sidelines. And we've got David Aldridge there for that. David, good evening.
Hey, Kevin, thank you. Chris Paul is still searching for his first title. He came close in Houston, but was traded, and by some was written off as over the hill. CP said, "I control what I can. That's preparing to play every night. Doesn't matter how successful my season was or wasn't, I'm always going to strive and push myself." Kevin, back to you.
Thank you, DA. And these two teams, Brent, known for playing a more methodical pace. When you think of the elite half-court offenses, what comes to mind for you?
Well, I have a location for you, Kevin. It's Utah. And I have two names for you, Stockton and Malone. And how good those guys were, not just in pick and roll, but in overall half-court execution. Man, it was surgical.
So the opening lineup for the Suns. Ayton is out there with Frank Kaminsky. Then it's Bridges. Then it's Chris Paul. And it's Galloway in at the shooting guard. And for Philadelphia, Harris and Embiid together in the middle. Simmons is out there with Shake Milton. And it's Green in at the three, the small forward. Now here's Paul. Here's Kaminsky. Just 5 to shoot. The layup off target. Simmons against Paul. And Simmons slams it in.
I'm amazed at Simmons' athletic ability. He moves so fluidly for someone that size.
Simmons against Paul. Rebound by the 76ers. This game coming on the heels of their win against Chicago.
Yeah, and with most of the arena against them, they just banded together and trusted one another to make the right play.
Yeah, and in that game, it turned into a massive scoring night. It wasn't so much about the game plan as it was establishing early confidence to get that win.
Yeah, that's a good way to start the game. Nice inside bucket right there.
Here's Simmons. Score the basket, his second of 2 attempts.
Can't shake Simmons. He is very used to getting hit. Even with contact, he can finish strong.
Well, DeAndre Ayton is a walking double-double. This guy has a huge physical advantage on the nights that he's playing other bigs, whether that's by his size or his ability to run the floor. And if he comes out with an aggressive mentality, he could really punish some teams throughout the course of a regular season.
And some think that Ayton has a chance to be in a class with some of the great big men we've seen, be it Ewing or Robinson, Hakeem. I mean, those are very lofty standards. Brent, how does he get there, though?
It's a great question. I think when you talk about it, Kevin, you got to look at the defensive end. And those names that you just mentioned on a nightly basis were a force behind anybody on the perimeter. And they came into that house. It was defended. If Ayton gets there, he's got a big opportunity.
That's good from Harris.
Now, with the scoring ability that Tobias Harris has, he can look to be even more aggressive. All the skills to be a go-to guy.
Here's what Philadelphia's going with right now. Bobby Portis is checked in for Green. Maxey comes in for Shake Milton. And it's Hill in for Ben Simmons. And then for Phoenix, Sharch is checked in for Kaminsky. Torrey Craig comes in for Bridges. And Cameron Payne subbed in for Paul.
A great player on a great role at the charity stripe. The D has got to be careful about being too aggressive on him and sending him back for freebies.
With some arc. No good that time. Good D by Embiid. Looking at the Suns, they want to turn it around after the loss to Washington.
Yeah, tough game on the road. The guys you're defending obviously comfortable shooting in their own building. You've got to find a way to break their rhythm.
Yeah, they couldn't do it in that one. Always a step slow in closing out the shooters and maybe even recognition of who was on the floor. Just not enough energy, and that's a tough way to win on the road.
And that one's good, Ayton.
DeAndre Ayton happy to shoot at that range. Nice stroke.
76ers have gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. Harris outside. Trying to answer back, but that three is off the mark. For Phoenix, they've gone 2 of 5 here, making 40% so far to start out the game. Here's Craig. It's good. He makes his first shot of the game. And here in the first, approaching 3 minutes played. Embiid inside. He's covered by Ayton. And here's Hill for 3. Good for the basket. Starting off 1 for 1 with that shot.
Nice job there from George Hill setting up. He's an effective three-point shooter.
Now here's Payne. Over Hill. And that does it for the first quarter. 76ers lead by 4. Live from Philadelphia, you're watching 2K Sports. And a tremendous offensive catalyst, Chris Paul recently talked about the defensive side.
First and foremost, we just got to do better. You know, and I think the first place where we need to improve is on the defensive end. You know, we've played so many close games this year. It's like we try to make every game interesting.
Spoken like a future head coach, Greg.
And when it comes to closing, CP3 wants to leave nothing to chance.
And if you're just joining us, we've played through 1 quarter in this one. And looking at what we've seen from the 76ers, what do you guys think?
Boy, their offense looks really good when everyone's in sync. Terrific first quarter.
I couldn't ask for a better one right now. Just a complete rhythm by all the guys who got some minutes. Wonderful start.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor. All fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. And Phoenix looking who they've got on the floor. Trevor Ariza out there with Johnson. Then it's Chris Paul. Then there's Šarić, and it's Payne in at the point. Here's Maxey after the Suns pick up 2. He dishes it to Harris over Ariza, and the 76ers tack on 2 more. At this point late in the season, Brent, any danger that contenders that might be coasting can't flip the switch for the playoffs?
Something I really have never felt, Kevin. It's matchup driven when it comes down to playoff time. And I remember doing some work and looking into teams going into the playoffs and did they need to be hot? The numbers say no.
Paul with the buckets.
Well, that's a sweet spot for Paul. That zone between the arc and the paint might be his favorite. A career 50% two-point shooter.
And the 76ers decide to take their first time out here. They went to Phoenix for their last meeting with the Suns and came out with a win.
And the last time they faced this club, rebounding was their big advantage.
The 76ers with some changes. Simmons checked in for Tobias Harris. Green comes in for Maxey. And it's Shake Milton in for Hill. Kaminsky is checked in for Phoenix. Bridges comes in for Trevor Ariza. Simmons, down it goes for his 3rd basket in as many tries.
Just a much smaller defender on him. He does the exact thing at the right moment, goes straight to the rim.
Here's Paul. Ayton grabs the board.
He's going to be shaking his head on that one. Knows he missed an easy one.
Yeah, you can't make them all, and for sure you'll want him taking that kind of shot.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that one.
And we know he's capable of those memorable ones. And here are the Suns now, after the Sixers pick up 2. Here's Paul. Softly drops in the floater. Paul's got 4 points now in the quarter.
A super touch on the floater there from Chris Paul, fooling the defense completely and then getting off the difficult shot.
Simmons' shot is good.
Just playing with poise and confidence, and they continue to put points on the board.
Yeah, just really pouring it on right now, trying to take away the opposition's motivation to keep competing in this one.
Here is Paul after Ben Simmons' bucket. Payne passes to Johnson. Back to Payne. 5 on the clock.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that.
And Simmons slams it in.
He's an absolute gym rat. Simmons is relentless in his pursuit to dominate really all phases of the game and improving with his scoring.
Paul surveying the floor. Simmons pulls it in. Oh, and the jam by Ben Simmons.
You can't let Simmons get going off of these dunks. His confidence just soars when he slams it down like that.
And so it's Philadelphia up by a dozen here at the end of the quarter. And their ability to get points in the paint has made all the difference in this one. And we've got more NBA action on 2K Sports coming your way after this break.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Boy, a lot of energy in this arena tonight. The hometown fans getting after it. I'm Ernie Johnson. Shaquille O'Neal's here. So is Kenny the Jet Smith. Ben Simmons putting in some incredible work. He had 14 points and 2 rebounds. It's hard to imagine how he could have been any better in the first 2 quarters. Let's start with you, Shaq. What'd you think about the 76ers?
You have to love how they're using their heads tonight. Good ball movement, smart shots. Look, it's been a disciplined performance. The coaching staff has to be thrilled.
And Kenny, what are your thoughts on Phoenix?
Well, my question is, who are their playmakers? We saw too much dribbling, too little ball movement, too few assists. Well, it's not rocket science. You don't have to have a degree in any kind of science. The best teams always have and always will be unselfish.
And that's all we have for now. Tell the folks goodbye, Shaq. Tell the folks goodbye,
Goodbye.
Kenny. Goodbye. Go to Kevin Harlan.
Well, we've got a second half of basketball for you. We think it's going to be pretty good. A big comeback, though, is needed for this game to be competitive, and it probably has to happen quickly. You look at Ben Simmons in this game, he's been everywhere.
Yeah, it's been a great performance from him, really staying focused on quality shots.
Yeah, this is showing that they're not going to play at anybody else's pace but their own.
And as we dive into the second half, we'll find out if the next 2 quarters are any different from the first 2. So far, it has been a runaway. Harris and Embiid together in the middle. Shake Milton is out there with Simmons. And it's Green in at the small forward position. That's the 5 to begin the second half for Doc Rivers. Now here's Paul after the miss from Joel Embiid. Paul kicks to Bridges. Pass to Galloway. Lets it go with the 3. It's hauled in by the 76ers. Simmons with it. Bridges covering. Here's Harris. And the rejection by Ayton.
So he has the size and can get up quickly. Ayton with the throwback.
Count that bucket. Paul's got 8. Greg, 11 years for you in the NBA. You had to have some favorite players that you played besides you with.
You know, it's a great call, and there were a ton of them. A few guys, though, Wilson. Gary Payton, I got a chance to play with Gary for a year and have known him. We used to go at it in high school, and it's really about his personality. This is a guy that constant chatter, practice on the court. That's what fed his confidence. Charles Oakley, another guy, he would run through a wall or through you to win a game. And then Scottie Pippen later in my career, just a winner and somebody who I competed against for many years, but then having the opportunity to play with up close, I got a greater appreciation for his skill set.
And first time out of the game called for Phoenix. We've seen Simmons really having a great game.
Yeah, smart move here, talk things over. He's really eating them up, and they've tried a few different looks defensively, nothing quite getting it done.
Changes for Philadelphia. Maxey comes in for Shake Milton, and it's Hill in for Green. And for the Suns, Saric has checked in for Frank Kaminsky. Torrey Craig comes in for Bridges, and Cameron Payne subbed in for Paul. Now here's Saric, still looking for his first bucket in this one. And again, it's the Suns missing. And here comes Harris, leading the fast break. And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for two. And there's the foul against Phoenix.
The first pick in the 2016 NBA draft, Simmons has been a phenomenal addition to our league.
This is his first chance at the line tonight. That's good from Simmons.
And what a factor Ben Simmons is on the floor. Does so much for this team in every facet of the game. He's a triple-double threat whenever he suits up.
And Simmons drops them both. And sometimes people forget just how young Ben Simmons is, Greg. This is just the beginning for him.
I mean, and that's what fans are missing about Simmons, his age. I mean, you can worry about his shot, but he has a long time to figure it out. He could end up having a Jason Kidd type of a career where he becomes a solid shooter later on.
Now here's Payne. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 9.5 points a game. Ayton against Embiid. Now here's Ayton. Not a lot of room. Fade away. Maxey grabs the miss. Philadelphia leading by 14. And there it is for him. Maxey's got his first points of the game.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Payne with it, outguarded by Simmons. And Saric kicks to Payne. Cranes the three-pointer. Payne's got 5 now.
And Saric, just one of those European players that comes over with the fundamentals. Beautiful play there.
Harris's shot is good. And the 76ers lead by 15.
And Matador defense, that's one of the easiest shots he is ever going to see.
Yeah, feels like Christmas right now, just gift wrapping points.
And so it's the Philadelphia 76ers. Their lead at 15 going into the break. They've been playing some ferocious defense. We'll take a quick break and then back to the action here. Now let's take a look at our assist of the game presented by State Farm.
Yeah, an easy choice tonight. Look at the precision on this pass. Put it on a platter for him.
Well, there's a way to break down the defense with the handle, but you can do it with the pass. Prime example of that right there.
And as we head into the fourth, we'll see if there's a comeback in the works or if it's more of the same from the first 3 quarters. On Phoenix, looking who they've got on the floor. They've got Saric, Paul out there with Trevor Ariza, and it's Galloway in at the 2 spot. Pass to Craig. Now here's Paul. Lets the 3 fly. Here's Saric. Bucket is good. Saric has got the 4th quarter going with the first basket of the period here for the Suns.
Saric being aggressive on the offensive glass and that kind of activity, doing a good job gaining them some bonus points.
Embiid, good work there as it goes. Your son Cole Gregg was one of the top high school players in America. A lot of services had him number 1. Talk about what it was like going through the recruiting process as a dad.
You know, it was fun for the most part because he really kind of kept everything in perspective. And the teams we dealt with, the schools we dealt with, man, they were all top-notch. So that process, about as enjoyable as one could ask for. But at the same time, it's still stressful, man. That's still your little guy getting ready to head off to college.
Well, you're a dad and a proud one at that. To the paint, here's Ariza, and it's slammed in by Ariza.
A rangy 6'8", Ariza finishing with force.
And Philadelphia calls time here. They're up by 11. 1:39 left to play here in the 4th. Some changes here for the 76ers. Green, he's checked in for Furkan Korkmaz. And it's Ben Simmons in for Hill. And for the Suns, Frank Kaminsky comes in for Trevor Ariza. And it's Bridges in for Torrey Craig. Embiid trying to break loose. Another shot. And that one is good with the extra effort on the glass. Embiid's got 4 points in the quarter. And so it's Paul with it, bringing it up for Phoenix, trailing by 13. We've got 1:18 left in the game. And right on through for another basket. He's got 5 made on 5 of 9 shooting. Passes to Portis. Over Kaminsky. And again, it's Philadelphia.
And these are the types of games where one team clearly has the edge. Tonight, it will be a win by a large margin for the 76ers.
You know, a team can have a great shooting night without getting a lot of assists, but tonight they had both.
Yeah, and listen, you only get the assist if the guy you give it to makes the shot. So a lot of assists will up your field goal percentage, but this is a great team effort by everyone.
And when you look at the season for these guys, they have amassed a lot of wins, 57, and adding in tonight, it'll make it 58.
A 2-game season series. They win them both and complete the sweep.
And you know, looking back at all the contributions tonight, it was a really phenomenal all-around game for Ben Simmons.
Every time he shot it, it seemed like it was going to drop in. And if it didn't, everyone was surprised. Impressive job by the players, coaches, and don't discount the impact of these fans.
Awesome to see their output tonight, trying to urge their team on, and that can always help. That home advantage of home fans getting you going, fully on display here.
And a chance there to look back at the stunning mobile one block a moment ago.
And guys, that's about as good a defensive play as you'll see. Instant reaction to get a hand to the shot.
.26 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Shot clock at 6. Yep, that one goes in there.
You know CP3 can get others involved, but when he wants to score, he can do that too.
Simmons. And Simmons slams it in.
And once they smelled blood in the water, you could see the killer instinct take over.
Yeah, up until that point, a competitive game, but once they broke through that barrier, it was all them. Complete control.
Now Green. So it's the 76ers winning this one easily. A confident win and one where they clearly showed the greater effort.
Yeah, I mean, it was a solid performance, particularly here at home. I think they built off that edge of being here and playing with just a little more confidence than their opponent.
Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Brett Barry, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thank you for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. And we'll see you next time.